I think,
Hello.
yep.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Welcome to our team call. Um, okay, so I had a conversation this week with someone on our team, and she asked me a question that I thought was really interesting because it made me think about my answer. And the question she asked is, how have you never missed a day of posting or a day of checking in with your challengers or your coaches, or how have you made, you've almost 2 years in coaching, how have you never missed a vital behavior day? And it kind of threw me off guard because I was like, well, she's like, how do you deal with sick kids, or you moved, you had a baby. And I think all of a sudden it kind of dawned on me that my why is bigger than any excuse that I might have. And to me, my business is that important that no matter what the situation might be, I need to show up. Because if I stop showing up, I'm kind of a fraud. I mean, let's be real. You're saying to people on your social media that I will show up for you, I will cheerlead for you. So that day that you give up on yourself is kind of the day you're also showing your social media followers all this work that you've done, that you're not going to show up for them. And I'm not saying that you can't have an off day. Like, I'm not saying you have to be, on every single day. But the fact of the matter is, my why is so much bigger than anything that could come my way. And I didn't work this hard to only just say, oh, well, not today, or, oh, I'll just do it some other day. Because you know what? Those habits continue. Those habits will be the ones that all of a sudden you're not posting because it's just as much as like you're building healthy eating habits. It's the same as coaching. You're constantly building habits every single day that are moving you towards where you want to grow in your business. And so I had to stop and I had to really think about what my why is. And my why at the end of the day is selfish as it might seem. My why is that I don't ever want to miss any moment in my kid's life. And right now I'm missing moments because I'm building a business and because I still need to bring in an income. And so I want to be a PTA mom. I want to take my kids on vacations that, without wondering where the money's going to come from. I want to be able to give generously to whatever we want to give to. We want to fund a mission in wherever. I want to do that. I want us to not be bound by this financial burden of life. And I think that I let those things, like when I'm laying in bed in the morning and I've only slept maybe 5 hours, I think to myself, okay, I'll just work out later. I'm not going to work out later. I won't even get off the couch later. So if I don't get up now, it's not going to happen. And then I'm letting people down. So I get up and I get dressed and I press play and I move forward. And it's my why. I think about the people and what I'm trying to make a difference in. And that is what plagues me every single day. That's why I do the invites. That's why I do the social media posts. That's why I don't give up on a challenger and a challenge group. I let that drive my business daily. So, Andrea does a great job of using her story. Anita Myron, which I just shared her story on our team page the other day, using your pain and your journey and your life for a positive is so inspiring to people, because that's what people get stuck in. When someone's kids are sick and they're sick again and they're sick again, or they husband lose their job, or, life's throwing you, we miscarriage or whatever that might be. I'm not saying those things need to be not, taken seriously. They do, but that's what we're in life. That's life changing, guys. That's the stuff that we can then use to help people get out of their holes of depression or, loneliness or whatever that might be. So you're that powerful. And I feel like that's something that's, I've always loved this idea that it gives you a platform. This business gives you a platform to preach on whatever passion you have. So I don't have any other platform to sit on. You know what I mean? Like I could just go out there and be this health and wellness person and sell nothing, which would be fine. But I don't think that the buy-in wouldn't be there. Right. And so that's the exciting stuff that I try to stick to. So I say all that to say, really think about your why, because your why is going to be why coaches join your team. Your why is going to be why customers buy from you. Your why is what's going to keep you going. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, Kim and I were talking earlier about what we were going to share on this call. And, like we titled it, like we shared that we're going to talk about recruiting. We're going to talk about our new coach boot camp or our sneak peek. But it always comes back to a couple of things. And so I loved when Kim was talking about how powerful her why is. And so I wanted her to share that with you guys because I know it struck me earlier as well. So I do hope that her words challenge you and encourage you and excite you, because this business is hard, but there was a reason we got into it, right? And if we only look at the hard, we're missing it. Like, we're missing the joy in it. It's a tough job. But we are like, remember the passion, remember why you got into it in the first place, and I know that recruiting is scary. I know that when you first sign up and you hear about this goal as being an emerald, it literally just feels like terrifying, right? It's like, who's going to join me? I don't even know how to sign them up yet. How am I going to talk to them? What if they have questions I can't answer? And the more that Kim and I have been studying this business, and we've been in trainings about growing your business, and we start hearing that it's really not about hitting emerald, you guys, and it's not about hitting diamond. But if your goal is to build this business, and your goal needs to be hitting 2-star, like that needs to be where your sights are. And I know that if you're new, you might be hearing that and you don't even know what that means. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed by that. But one of the things that I share with my challengers is to not just focus on the results. Focus on the daily actions that are going to get you there, and the results are going to follow. So in the same way that if you're every day, you're being consistent and you're working out and you're drinking your Shakeology, you're checking to this group, you're consistent with your nutrition, the results are going to follow. The same is true for growth in your business and people joining your team. If you are doing the daily consistent actions of the 4 vital behaviors, your team is going to grow. The results are going to follow. And one of the vital behaviors that I feel so passionate about right now is being a product of the product. When I started this month, I shared last weekend on our team page that it was the 12th that I had 0 success cut points. And that's rare for me. And that's not because people throw themselves at me. It's because I'm constantly having conversations with people. And so constantly I'm helping people get started. But last month I did, a couple months ago, I shared that I got off track. I injured my shoulder. It's healing. I let it derail me. And so I stopped having these conversations with people because, like, what was I going to sell them? I wasn't doing it myself. And then as soon as I started getting back on track with the Ultimate Reset, I started to gain momentum in my business again. I started sharing those transformation photos. Everything else is making sense. And it's just almost like this snowball, you guys, because you're doing everything else, right? You're posting consistently. And I can tell you, though, that when you start getting real results, even posting becomes easier because you feel like you have content to post about, because you believe in it again. You're excited to share it again. That confidence is going to flow into your conversations with people. People are going to feel your excitement. Your conversations with people are going to look different. And as we talk about coaching, the idea is not to reach out to random people and try to sign them up. Like, this isn't like that kind of business. This business is very simple when you think about it. It's just a lot of work, right? Like, to really build it. But it's simple work. You need to be on your own journey. People need to see that. You need to be sharing that outwardly with people. Then people need to know that they can join you on your journey, right? Like, that you have challenge groups, that you have coach sneak peeks, that like you can train them, that they can join you. Then once they started, like, you're going to help them get results. And then you invite them to coaching to help other people do the same. It's this cycle that goes around and around and around, but it stops if you don't have results. And I think sometimes we get lax. I did, right? Like, I got really off track. So sometimes we do that. So this business isn't about perfection. But if you think about it, if I didn't show my transformation, if Kim didn't have a transformation, would you guys have joined our team? Would you guys have seen any sort of vision? Would you guys have joined our groups? People want to join you if they see the benefit of it, if they see the results of it. People are very visual, and so you need to consistently share your results. And so I just want to encourage you and challenge you today that if you're having a difficult time in your business, to really evaluate, are you all in on one of your programs? When's the last time you started one start to finish? When's the last time that you stuck to the nutrition plan, that you shared results pictures, and that the results were noticeable? Because yes, the emotional gain is huge. Yes, financial gain is huge. But people can't see that. They can see whether or not you look more toned, right? Like, they can see whether or not, like, your face is like so much more confident because you're beaming, because like literally you're just radiant. And so not only is it just so important to have these 4 vital behaviors, it's so important to focus on that one where you're getting a transformation, because that's going to flow, that confidence is going to flow into everything else. So ask yourself, are you cutting yourself too much slack on your workouts? Are you cutting corners on your nutrition plan? Because I can tell you that like those decisions add up. Like Kim said, you know, like all of these decisions add up, the bad ones and the good ones over time. So the majority of the time, you need to be on point. The majority of the time, you need to be consistent, because if you think about it, like the reasons for staying on track need to be bigger than your reasons for jumping off track. You know, at the end of the night, you need to decide, is it worth having that huge piece of cheesecake every night that you love, that you can't stay away from? Is that worth more than growth in your business? You know, is like saying no to something that you want to do now worth like more than the growth in your business? Because that's what it comes down to, because we're all in the early stages of this, you guys. It's not just easier for Kim and I. We're just putting more work into it, and we're trying to share exactly what we're doing in hopes that if you want to build your business, that you can come join us and do just that. And so as you're having this transformation story, you're inviting people to join you. They're in your challenge group. It's time to start talking to them about coaching. It's going to feel a lot more natural for you if you're just loving it, right? And so now Kim and I are really working on how can we really improve our coach sneak peeks, because we've done a couple different formats, but nothing's really clicked. Nothing's really felt right for us. And so Kim's going to share with you what our new plan of action is for our next coach sneak peek, which is going to be next Wednesday, the 22nd. Kim's holding it all together over here. If you could have only seen the last hour of our life, she really is holding us all together. And so she's going to share with you what it's going to look like. And then so hopefully we've both shared ideas for you on how you can be more comfortable inviting people to join you. And then she's going to share what the coach sneak peek looks like. And then we'll give you guys a couple of tips at the end on how to directly invite people, like to come to the sneak peek, some ways that aren't as scary as you might think that they might be.
Okay, so we kind of took a lax on doing these. And then I was listening to the Surge training, one of the first ones that Tribe United team did. And Andrea Crowder, who I recommend go and look at her page, try to get some ideas of how she invites to sneak peeks. So she hosts a sneak peek every month, and she says that if 12 people are in there, the likelihood of all those people signing up is like 95%. And that struck me because I was like, that's a lot. That's like a really high percentage for this. You know, what are we missing? Why are sneak peeks something that we need to be doing? And basically the way she explains it is, people want to know that you have something that's exclusive that people want to get into. And so the way that she suggests really like having them is, when you create a post, you want to have an offer. So I'm looking for 10 to 15 women, or are you looking for freedom? Something that's going to draw people in with a bright, shining, energetic face of just you, or maybe a team shot or whatever. But you want people to feel this excitement in this community that Beachbody Coaching is. And so she actually makes people do an application before they even get to be in the group, because she doesn't want to waste her time with people who are not really interested, which I mean, that's a big step. But because it shows the seriousness of the sneak peek. So I haven't quite decided if we're going to go that route. Maybe not for Wednesday, because I'm not really ready for that. But then once she's in there, she offers a prize for anybody who participates. So she's like, $5 Starbucks card. She's like, I don't even care. She's like, I want that Starbucks. I want that Starbucks card, even if it's only $5. And so she said that people are really drawn into like competition, like wanting the prize. So she's like, I go to the dollar bin at Target and I make up a little girl boss basket, and I just mail that in a Shakeology cup, and away I go. So super simple ideas. Again, I don't know if we're going to do all these things, but these are ideas that we're kind of toying around. And the way that what she kind of says is, once you have the group, so I'm thinking next Wednesday starting at 6:00, we will, it will be a live event. And these are the things that she says we need to include. So we need energy and excitement, set the expectations. We need to tell our story, highlight the community aspect of coaching because that's really what people are looking for. Hold on, please. There you go. Success stories, and then she gives a registration deadline. So legitimately she says, okay, like at the end, like you have 5 days now to sign up as a coach. And because she only wants the willing. And I liked that idea because in this, if you're having a sneak peek, the idea is that these are people who are legitimately looking to work the business. These aren't discount coaches. These aren't just random people. These are people that you've met, that you see that would make awesome team members for your team. Those are the people you want to be inviting to this. They're you, however long ago you started. So I'm looking for people like me 2 years ago who were tired, who had children, who didn't want to work a job anymore in an office, who, who was kind of living paycheck to paycheck, who wasn't going on any trips, who wasn't really thriving in life. I'm looking for her. And so all my posts that I'm inviting, that's how they're going to be worded. I'm going to think about that person 2 years ago, and I'm going to speak to her because that's what I want to look for. And then the idea is that we want to answer questions with our stories. So like they should leave. These are the questions that most people want to know. Do I need experience? What if I'm not in shape? Will I get support while I build? Is there training available? How do I make money? Do I have enough time? What does a coach do? How much does it cost? And can I cancel? So those are the questions that in all of these years of coaching, they say are the most crucial that we answer. So the idea is we go live and we answer these questions in a excited, in a passionate way that shows people exactly what we're all about. And I love the idea of that, like inviting people in. And she's like, maybe you're talking about the financial gains and it's like, yeah, you're not making 6 figures, but are you paying for your car insurance? Are you paying for your cell phones? What are you paying for? Talk about that. She's like, maybe you had no friends before and now you have all these friends. Talk about that. Maybe you lived in a really dark hole and now you don't. Talk about that. Those are the things we need to be covering in our sneak peek. So the idea is, and this is sort of a brainstorming session as we're talking to you guys, is we want people who are willing to be on live and we answer these questions and that's it. That's all. That's what a sneak peek should look like. And I think that it's a great, I think it does, if I think back to those times, I don't know if a ton of us have signed coaches that way, but I know that I've signed a few, and I know that I've signed a few of you. So I know that is, there is some good in it, but I just think it shows that we're taking our business seriously. We're taking it to the next level, and, that's kind of how we're rolling. So thoughts? Sorry.
No, I like it. And I like the idea because like we've done so many different things, right? Like we've done slideshows. We've done like things that lasted way too long. We did a lot of little videos that we did stuff every 5 minutes. It was so all of these things. And so I love the idea of just sitting down and just popping in live and just sharing who we are, because I know that even just Kim and I sharing our stories, we have such different ones and our lives are so different that we can appeal to like a wide variety of people together that we might be able to, like if it was just one of us. And so I love the idea of each of us sharing our stories, having a couple more of you guys share your stories too. Depending on how many people want to do it, we can figure out how long they're going to be and how long everything's going to be. But I just love, again, just this idea of just switching it up. And I do think that like maybe next month we try like an application, because I do think that would be pretty cool to just have it. And it's not, I don't think it has to be long. I don't think it has to be like super complicated, but just, like what do you want to get out of this? Like what, just some questions. So then by the time they're listening to us, it's like they've already like in their minds, like they've already invested something in this, right? Like they've already written some stuff down.
And the cool thing is she said, like, you should probably, reach when you get that application, you reach out to them and you connect on areas that you two connect. So like, yeah. Love that you want to make your children see what fitness looks like or whatever. You find those areas where you're going to connect. So before they're even starting in the sneak peek, they see where you two are going to get along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's even like more like will continue to be more important as our teams continue to grow, and we might not know everyone personally before they're ready to sign up, you know, because if you think about it, like I saw on Brandy Bot's Facebook page that, so she, obviously this isn't personally sponsored, but in her downline, she has almost 35,000 coaches. So just thinking about like, as our teams continue to grow, we're gonna have more and more people. So you might not know everyone personally, like right when you get started, but to have that application, I think is gonna be like huge. And then also just to like refer back to it, you know, like after they sign up, it's like you need to, you know, see what they wrote, like remembering what they wanted out of this business in the beginning. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as for inviting people to this group, I know we're going to wrap up in a minute here, but in terms of inviting people into the sneak peek, it doesn't have to be complicated. You know, it's not about saying this perfect thing. It's not about something really weird and formal. It's not about answering all of their objections before whatever. Like Kim said earlier, like so much of this is just about our excitement. And so much of this is just about our confidence. It's not about knowing everything. It's not about pretending that we know everything. Because even think for you personally, if you have a question and Kim and I can't answer it, and we said, you know, I don't know, but like, let me find out. And then we went and we found out and we shared it with you. I don't think that you would think that we didn't know what we were talking about, or like lose respect for us, or feel like, you know, everything that you've believed about our credibility is a lie. Like, you know, and so it's okay to say that you don't know and get them the answer. And then, but make sure that you follow up with them. And so, like, I just reach out to people after they've been in my groups for a week or two if I just feel like they just have it. And I just ask, like, hey, girl, like, you've been, like, doing awesome. Like, I love seeing your check-ins. Like, I love seeing you encourage people. Have you ever thought of becoming a coach? So it's pretty simple to just start that conversation. And people know that you love it so much. So it's like a compliment. And so they'll either say yes or no. And either way, you can kind of start the conversation and invite them to the sneak peek. And so it doesn't have to be like crazy. And then also on your Facebook, post about the sneak peek consistently. People need to know that it's happening. People need to know what they're going to get out of it. Because, you know, I heard the analogy before of, I can't remember exactly what the analogy was, but the idea was just like a fitness instructor, you know, where you love her class, you love her energy, you love that she teaches these classes, like you love following her journey. But if she never told you that she could teach you how to do it, and so that you could do the same thing, you would never it would never cross your mind. So people need to know that you can mentor them, that they can join your team. So just share about it. Share that, like, what coaching has done for you. Write out a list of things that you love about coaching, and then use those topics as posts for the next week leading up to the sneak peek, sharing your journey, sharing why you love it, and then sharing that people can get more information on it. And so I think that sometimes we freak out about it, but I don't think anywhere in your post do you need to say that you know everything. You know, just like share what it's done for your life and that you want to share it with other people. And then also like jump on, like get out of your comfort zone a little bit and do a live video on your Facebook so people can hear you and see you as you talk about it, because it's huge, right? Like people can kind of assume tone as they're reading your post, but if they can see your face, if they can hear your voice, that's going to be so different and so much more endearing and genuine when you're talking about coaching. So do that. Do you have any other tips, Kim? I know that like you do some of that too already.
The only last thing I was going to say is you just totally reminded me, Jamie Fitzpatrick, who's like number 4 in the company. He's a man, which is interesting, but he has a wife. They're kind of like together. But it's interesting. He just quit her job to go full-time Beachbody. So he's legitimately the carrier. But anyway, his national wake-up call was phenomenal. And he's like, you have so many tools to share why this business is great, and without sounding salesy with this concept of live video. And, you know, Nat does a great job. He's on live all the time. I feel like I do it on my fitness page, but I'm not so great on my personal. I'm not even too sure why. But one of the things that Jamie said, which I thought was so great, was your desire to change your circumstance has to be greater than your acceptance to stay in the same place. So that's like his why, flat out right there. He didn't like his circumstance, and he's choosing to be greater and move forward towards the things that he wants. And so let your why drive your posts, all of them. and people will see you're authentic. Guys, I love this business because it's never once felt like some sort of scam. It's never once felt like you're trying to trick somebody. All you're trying to do is help people find freedom in their fitness. That's it. And then there's this like side part that they can find freedom in their life too. And so just be authentic, be you, be real, be inviting, be excited, and people will come. People will join you. We have something special on this team, and I don't feel like, I don't know, maybe we don't celebrate that enough, but we have like really incredible coaches who combined we're just a powerhouse. And there's no reason why we can't take our teams to the very top and be, just as good as the Jamie Fitzpatricks and the Melanie Mitros and the Bonnie Ingalls. They're just willing to try a little harder. Honestly, that's all it is. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I know it's time to go. Clearly, little dude wants to go to bed. But I could sit on this soapbox for a while, as you can tell.
No, I feel the same about the importance of our transformation stories. Like, that's my thing right now. But you guys, we both just want you guys to just recognize what an amazing opportunity you have to share with people. You're not trying to, like what Kim said, like there's no scam. You're not trying to trick people. They can get a full refund if they feel like it doesn't live up to what they thought it was going to be. So just remember what it's done for you, and like by not sharing it, like people are going to miss out, like be bold and share your story so that other people can have their lives transformed too. And if you have any questions, just reach out to Kim or I, comment on the team page. Like we hop in there, we try to get in there a couple times a day to make sure we answer questions and just really engage and build up your confidence in what we have to offer so that you can be confident when you're inviting people into it. And sometimes it's a little bit of fake it till you make it, but you'll get there like we did. We're so much more confident now sharing about it than we were when we first started. So it just takes some practice.
You mean we're not in the top 10?
Not yet.
Oh.
But we are in my heart. It's a team effort. We need everyone to believe in this dream so that we can get to the top 10.
Totally.
That's the only thing holding us back. Okay. All right. Well,
yes, and we'll post some information to come, and you can sign up if you want to be in this live call, and tell us the subject that you think you can speak into on one of those questions. But we'll divvy all that up on the team page.
Yeah. All right. Good night, you guys. Bye.
Bye.